everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. I'm going to do a card with you. I feel like I have, for one, there hasn't been very many videos on my public channel. It's because I'm working madly behind the scenes on the Try It class and I'm almost done. I have, I think, 3 more of those projects left to film. And then, of course, they have to be edited and posted and all that. And then I have a couple of girls that are helping me since I won't be here. Well, my daughter's doing the PDF for you all that are taking the class. The postman's supposed to come today and pick up all of the things because it wouldn't fit in my car, so I just did a postal pickup. But I'm going to squeeze in a card here, and then I'm going to finish that, and then I have 2 more cards that I'm going to try to get done so they can post while we are away on our trip. But I also have to get the house cleaned up for our house sitters, and I have to pack. I know if a lot of people are ahead packers, I am not ahead of time packer. I pack the night before, no matter how big the trip or how long the trip or all the weather changes of a trip. So yeah, no packing has been done here. The suitcases are out, but the other thing is, and my husband thinks this is crazy, it stresses our cats. Well, the one cat, the kitten, hasn't lived through a trip yet, so she doesn't know that when the suitcases come out, it's bad news. And we have a white-haired cat, and because she gets stressed, she likes to climb in the suitcase if you're not paying attention, and then you leave for a trip covered in cat hair. So I'm going to try to get all my work done for the most part today, a little bit tomorrow, and then I'm on vacation mode starting tomorrow, but not vacation tomorrow. It's work mode tomorrow. So I'm going to use... I just filmed this project for the Try It class. Love this suite. And I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm going to use the inked botanicals, but I'm not going to use the paper. And when you take the paper out of this, it gives it a whole new look because the colors in this are fabulous. I love the colors, but I know that they tend a little towards autumn or late summer. So I'm just going to kind of spring it up a little bit here. Maybe kind of put a twist on it for you, but we're still going to use a ribbon. We're still going to do a couple of, going to use one of the punches, and then it is one of the things that I have another card in my head. I haven't made it, that if I get a chance I will get going here. We have a long layover in JFK, so I'm thinking that maybe if I get these filmed, maybe I can set them to post while I'm there before we lose our internet. So I'm going to use the inked and tiled. I'm not going to use the paper. So this is the inked and tiled stamp set, and it can come as a bundle if you want the punches, and you will want the punches because they're really unique. And they work together in some fun ways. So if you're going to try it, you're going to love the project to kind of see how they go. For today, I'm just going to use this one. But they're designed to work together. And then I'm going to use, we have new in colors every year. You can see what I'm going to do. And they, 5 come, 5 go with every catalog. And I forgot how much I loved Lost Lagoon because I try not to, get hung up on it because we know they're coming, we know they're leaving. And so when we have the 5 new introduced, I use them a lot. And then when they go, I just say goodbye. But I'm so glad Lost Lagoon is back. It's beautiful. And it kind of takes away, I did love Soft Succulent. I like this better. And it took away the sting of losing Soft Succulent. So I have the Lost Lagoon, which is one of the colors that is included in the 6x6 paper that comes in this. And then this is 4 by 5 1/4, well, a smidge less because I got it crooked because I was trying to go fast. So it's a little bit smaller. And then I have this, it's all just vanilla that I'm going to stamp the flower on, and then our punch. So let's make our background paper first. I'm going to use a bunch of the different inks because Try It class doesn't use any inks. So I got all this new stuff and I feel like I haven't even had a chance to use it. So you're just going to see them all, and you can do it differently if you want to make this card, or, get all the new inks and then you can do it just the same. So this is the largest stamp in the set, and I'm using the Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to ink it every time because I want them all to have this beautiful dark green. It will dry a little bit lighter than what it looks like when you stamp it. This is one, and especially, when you get these brand new freshly inked pads, and you want to turn your leaves. I don't want a lot of this on my card, so I'm just kind of making it go off the edge. But you want every time for them to look a little bit different. So just kind of move them around, and then when you get up here to the end, just kind of fit them in. So that can have a little bit of a stem. Remember, we're gonna have a panel here, so we don't need to concentrate on that middle part. Just make the edges look super pretty. And that's pretty. This will make some fabulous background paper. So I think that's it for this. I made the card yesterday, and then I did a whole bunch of stuff in between. So now I'm kind of like, is that what I did next? And then you want to move to your next largest stamp. But in this case, I am using Bubble Bath. So it doesn't matter as much because I can stamp right over the top of that Lost Lagoon, and you won't even know, you'll just know how beautiful it looks. So I'm going to use kind of I don't even know what flowers these are. This wildflower right over the top of this. And again, just twist it. Not super important that you get twisty on it because it's such a pale color. So you can see this is already lighter than that. But I am inking every time. You don't have to. On Bubble Bath, I think it is a pretty light color. So if the second time that you would stamp on it, it would be pretty pale. And I want to see all of this fun pink. See, that looks spring already, doesn't it? So got that. And then I'm going to move on to Berry Burst, which is this is a returning color as well. I didn't miss it quite as much as Lost Lagoon because it's a purpley pink, and we have other purpley pinks. I like Lost Lagoon. It tends towards the blue or the green and kind of that either or, and I like to play with those kind of colors. This is just, I'm not even sure what it is. It's just a little backgroundy thing. It could be the middle of a flower, perhaps. I don't know. I haven't had enough time to really look at anything, but it just looks pretty like this. So when you're in a hurry and you're on your way to a wedding or a shower, this is kind of that kind of card. I have wedding season, shower season, just went to a 1-year-old baby a birthday party. It's that time, that season of life for me. So I can whip together this shower card, and these are kind of in colors right now. If you want to know what colors are in weddings, take a look at Stampin' Up's 2023 to 2025 in colors. Those are wedding colors. So my niece's wedding is champagnes, which is those metallics. So we have that, and then I'm going to take this little piece here, just a little scrap of vanilla, and I'm going to stamp the congratulations out of that set. And sometimes if you, I'm just stamp it right here in the middle and then hope my punch does okay. Sometimes if you want, go ahead and stamp a few different sayings, especially when you have punches like this, and then just slide them inside the card. And then when you're on your way out the door in a hurry, you can just add with the dimensional, whichever occasion it is that you need the card for. Because this would actually, if you're looking for a Mother's Day card, and you did get this set already, then just whip this one out. It would be pretty for Mother's Day. Now, we're going to switch inks because I haven't even really got to show you guys the new markers. So we have the new colors, so you can get the new in colors, or you can get a pack of the new returning colors and the new core colors, which has like the lemon lolly and the bubble bath and then all of the new colors. But the markers themselves are new. They have been redesigned, which doesn't mean I am not going to replace all of mine. People have asked. My markers work fine, and I'm fine to use them. Maybe over time I'll do color family. You can get, you can't get individual ones, but you can get, I would recommend you get this set, and then this at least pulls in all your new colors and then the in colors, and then you can kind of see the new style as well. So I'm going to use the brush tip on here. When I was all said and done, I was like, I should have used the new tip. So there, when you get them and you have the other style, you can just hold them up next to each other and you'll see the difference. They're a little bit different in length. The caps are a little bit different, but the main improvement has been to the fine tip. So it's much more like a flare tip pen these days. The other one, you know, was super, super tiny, and it was in there, and I hardly ever used it because it was so tiny that it was nearly impossible to use. Now, so that I inked that with Lost Lagoon. Now I'm going to take my bubble bath, and for this part, you could do this with the bubble bath ink pad. When I did the card, I was just going to do this with, and I wasn't going to create a background because it was simple in my head, and then I had put those big leaf, that big leaf, on the block, and I was like, I really want to stamp with that leaf. So then it became ink pads, and then I was like, yeah, I really run this, spritz this, and so we added a blend. So we have all the new colors and all the new styles. So that's the bubble bath. And then I'm gonna take my berry burst, and I'm just gonna give a little bit here, and just with a really light hand, kind of, I'm not even pressing all the way, but just kind of go up into it, and it will grab some of those little veins that are in the flowers. I'm trying to do it so you can see it, but it's a little bit harder for me to do it this direction. So just like that. I thought about doing it on watercolor paper and spritzing it. I thought about a whole lot of things, but my table still has Try It class stuff on it, and I'm like, just do a quick card, Sherry. And when I get back this summer, I will do another Art of Stamping series with some of the new stuff. So look forward to that coming in June. Isn't that pretty? So you can see that you could take a embossing folder and just emboss the back instead of stamping it in a vanilla with a really pretty pattern, and that would be beautiful. We'll let that dry just a second. The markers take a tad longer, and my windows are open, as you can hear. Now we may have to cut this depending on how. Oh, no, I got it in there pretty well. The first time I didn't stamp it at an angle, and I had to cut it. So you line this up. So your congratulations is gonna go right there in the pointy part. And here's a little tip for you. I should have had this ready. If you have your take your pick tool, sorry, trying to line things up and talk at the same time, with the tip for the, get it lined up first. My other piece of paper was bigger. This was the scrap after I did it the first time. If you need to take your pick, maybe I got it this time. So line it up and then kind of hold it, and then you can take this little tip here and just kind of pull it, but that's pretty good. So you have this, which looks kind of funky, but now we're gonna be able to just take our snips, and you wanna kind of line it up, so you're gonna do one cut real quick. Again, easier if you're looking straight over the top of it, but there's a lot going on in this card, so nobody's gonna notice there's a little point there. Now you have a fun little banner that you didn't have to. Points are hard to cut hand trim, and you know I hand trim a lot. So there we go. I'm gonna put this in my paper trimmer because I don't want to cover up all that pretty paper we just made. So I'm just going to trim right around the edges of that flower. And then on the other side. And you can see the cutting track is here, and I want it just right up to there. Oops, that's the scoring blade. And then I'm gonna get right to the tippy top of the flowers. Go a fraction more on that, because I really do want it to have as little of this white paper that's just plain vanilla, and more of all the pretty stuff. And then if I lose a little bit of this down here, that's okay with me. So we have this, and then I'm going to use some of the new, this is one of the papers that I ordered that I didn't use in Try It Club, so I have some of it to show you. It is the new, oh, and I took it out of the thing. It's on the specialty paper page, and I'm gonna use this color, but it comes in the two, so there's the brighter gold, and then this, like I said, this is tending towards all the weddings that are coming up, because that's an in color for weddings. And again, I want to have it on here, and if I was had more time than I do, I might do a more creative way and maybe some dies and stuff, but we don't use the die cut machine. Everything's already die cut when you do the Try It class, so my die cut machine's not up here. And I'm just going to cover up all that beautiful paper because I have more paper than time. So I'm just going to put this on here. I'm not going to even measure it, because you know the measurement's going to just kind of depend on how close you cut your flower. But maybe when I get home from our trip, I can pull it back off, or probably not. It's just paper. So we have this. Now let's stick this all together. So there's a couple of different steps we're gonna do. Here's our background. And then this I'm gonna have be flat to here. Pretty. The brighter gold would go nicely with this too. I let my daughter choose which color she thought was prettier when she was here yesterday. And then I'm gonna use dimensionals on here so you see a tiny bit more of this. And I really wanted to use a die cut something, but you know, there was no machine here. So we went old school, like super, super old school. And just take your scissors. And you're just gonna rough this up. This is back what we did before we had fun folders and all the tools. Just kind of scrape it, and it kind of roughens up the edge, and it also makes it kind of 3D. We have I didn't get it yet, the white centered specialty paper, and that paper, I'm assuming, because we've had white centered paper before, is colored on the top and the bottom and then white in the middle, which most of Stampin' Up's paper is always, or cardstock is always colored all the way through. But when you have the white center, if you do this, then this is white and it's even amplified then. But you know, I didn't get it, so it wasn't an option. When we get back from our trip, I'm gonna be like, that will be my first real catalog order of things that I just want to play with and things that I didn't need to order for classes and club. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But I'm not taking my catalog because I'm not going to work. It helps when you don't have internet. So there you go. See? I didn't need to pull that out, and then I do need to clean that off. It does make a little bit of a mess. Don't do it if you're wearing black. And let's pull these off. And remember I said I went ahead and used all of the types of ink. So we're gonna pull that blend in here now. And I went with the Bubble Bath, which looks really pretty on the card. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see it if you haven't done this before. But I'm just gonna whack it. And this is a brand new one. I do it to all of my blends. It doesn't have to be old, it doesn't have to be new. And I'm mostly just gonna get it right here on this panel. And again, I didn't have the texture that I kind of wanted from a folder because I'm spoiled like that. But hopefully you can see it puts those fun dots and it kind of fills in that vanilla so it isn't starkly vanilla with all the other stuff going on the card. Now, here's one of my favorite parts of this card. Running out of space. This is the ribbon that's part of the suite. It's the Lost Lagoon something something. I know it has a name, the bordered ribbon. It's so pretty. This is why I love this color. It reminds me of 70s denim. Like, you know, it's acid washed, but not 90s acid washed. It's like the faded denim. It's a really pretty color. I'm just gonna tie a little bow. If you can't do bows like this, just do a knot. But this ribbon's really easy to tie. And I don't want the bow to be giant, so just little. And then I just need it so I can wrap it around the edges of the card. Now, get rid of that. It has the fluffies on it. And then I'm gonna I want it to look like it's holding this flower. It's not a bouquet, so it doesn't really need it. Oh, look guys, I can see the red. Of course, I can't even make it through my day without having to replace my, you know, when you have a million things to do and then replacing your adhesive adds 1,000,001. It's not that big of a deal. It's just, you know, and I'll run out while I'm filming because that's close and I hate to just throw it away when it still has stuff on it. So that's a little bit crooked. I'm talking. I'm not even stressed. I know some people will hear my voice because I'm talking fast and I'm stressed. I'm not stressed. We used to travel a lot, and I lived out of a suitcase, like literally lived out of a suitcase. And so I didn't pack till the end because I didn't want my life to feel like I lived out of a suitcase. Oh, good. I ran out with you guys because that's enough to hold it. So I've always, pretty much since my mid-20s, packed the night before a trip. So here we go. We're going to take our little congratulations. Now on my other one, I put a dimensional behind it. I think this time I'm just going to put a dimensional there because I put 2 on the other, and so it's a little, it's uneven because see, this is higher because of the twist on the paper. So just stick it right here under the congratulations. That could have been a little bit straighter in my punch. That's what happens to me when I'm trying to go fast, is that some of this stuff suffers, but it's okay. That's not terrible. And then for my embellishments, because they're up on my next project for my try class, see, and they matched. So the adhesive backed sequins trio. And, you know, remember, this is a wedding or a shower or something card that I designed with. These are not the exact colors. Well, there's white. This may be bubble bath, I guess. I don't know. I think it's probably, I don't know, looking at the paper, it's from the Masterpiece paper. I don't remember the name of it. This is Peacock, though, which is kind of how Evergreen and Succulent were. It's kind of how Peacock and Lost Lagoon can kind of play off each other. So I'm going to do 7. So I'm going to start with the big ones. So let's do 3 big ones, because they'll take up the most space, and then we can kind of tie the little ones in. So there's 3 of each of the big colors, and because I'm doing 7, I'm going to do an extra of the white. You just want to make sure that you don't have the same colors on the same side. Now we need 2 of the littles, because there's 2 sizes. You get a ton of these on here. You could even do 9 because it's like a happy card, and it would not be too many. You cannot have too many embellishments on a card. They're far better on your card than they are here 3 years later, still on your stuff in your drawer, wherever you keep them. So here's this one. Here's my other one. They're all going to look pretty much the same. And it's going to look like you used some designer series paper, even though you did not. So while I'm gone, you can still place orders. I will have a special during the time when it's about the time that we start the cruise part of our trip. You know, we're doing a driving tour of the United Kingdom and that, well, Scotland and England. Wales is on my list, but we're not going to Wales this time. And so I'm aware that, you know, when I say the UK, it makes it sound like we're going to Wales. But we're driving that part. And then when we start the Stampin' Up part of the cruise, of the trip to Norway, I will have a video, and it's done. It's been done for weeks, of my swaps, and you'll want to see it. I'm pretty pleased with them. So I have that, and that's about the time that my second special of the month. But I do have a host code that's good for the whole month, and my host code accumulates. So even if you buy now, it'll add up for when the second special comes. So I hope you like this card, and I will catch you back here later. Bye.